You're not stupid, you're not lazy, you're not weak-willed or fundamentally flawed. You're just running on a brain that's been systematically hijacked by forces you didn't even know were attacking you, rewired to crave instant gratification and resist anything that requires sustained effort. And now you're sitting here intelligent enough to see the problem, but seemingly powerless to fix it. You know exactly what you need to do. The steps are clear, the path is obvious, you can articulate your goals perfectly, plan your day meticulously, understand the theory of productivity better than most people. But when it's time to actually execute, you find yourself frozen, reaching for your phone, opening another tab, doing literally anything except the thing you know you should be doing. Your brain used to work. You remember being able to focus for hours, being able to start projects and finish them, being able to sit with boredom without needing immediate stimulation. But somewhere along the way something changed, something broke, or more accurately, something was broken deliberately by systems designed to capture your attention and never give it back. You feel the lag now, that split second between intention and action, where your brain reroutes you toward the easier option, the more stimulating option, the option that gives you a hit of dopamine without making you work for it. And that lag is getting longer. That gap between knowing and doing is expanding until you're spending entire days thinking about being productive while producing nothing. The shame is suffocating because you're too smart for this. You understand neuroplasticity, you know about habit formation, you've read the books, watched the videos, you have all the information you need to change, but information isn't changing anything. And every day you don't act is another day of evidence that maybe you're just not capable of discipline, no matter how much you understand it intellectually. You sit down to work and within minutes you're somewhere else, checking something, researching something, convincing yourself this distraction is productive, that you're just taking a quick break, but 5 minutes becomes an hour, becomes the whole day gone, and you're left with that familiar feeling of having accomplished nothing. Your attention span is shattered, not because you're inherently distractible, but because you've been training it to fracture for years, feeding it an endless stream of short-form content notifications. Dopamine hits delivered with such precision that anything requiring sustained focus feels impossible, uncomfortable, almost painful. You start things and don't finish them because your brain has learned that starting something new gives you a bigger dopamine hit than continuing something hard, so you're addicted to beginnings, to fresh starts, to the feeling of potential, without ever having to face the discomfort of actual execution. Here's what actually happened. Your brain evolved to survive, not to succeed. To seek pleasure and avoid pain in an environment where pleasures were scarce and required effort to obtain, where boredom was common and focus was natural because there was nothing competing for your attention. But then came the attention economy, an entire global infrastructure designed by the smartest engineers specifically to hack your dopamine system, to make their apps more addictive than anything evolution prepared you for. And they succeeded beyond anyone's darkest predictions. Every app you use is engineered to keep you there. Variable reward schedules like slot machines, infinite scroll removing natural stopping points, algorithms, learning your exact weaknesses and feeding them back to you. And all of this happening so smoothly, you don't even realize you're being manipulated. You just think you lack discipline when really you're fighting billion-dollar companies whose only metric is how much of your time they can steal. Your dopamine receptors are fried from constant stimulation, desensitized to the point where natural rewards like completing a task feel like nothing compared to the instant hit of a notification. And this is measurable neurological change, your brain physically restructuring itself to prefer easy dopamine over earned dopamine until effort feels like punishment and distraction feels like relief. You're not choosing distraction over focus, you're operating on a reward system that's been fundamentally altered, and trying to fight that with willpower alone is like trying to win a fist fight against someone with a gun. You're not weak for losing, you're just outmatched. So here's what you do, and it's going to feel extreme. You declare war on the systems hijacking you, you stop trying to moderate, and you cut it off completely, brutally, without negotiation, because you cannot outsmart systems designed specifically to bypass your conscious decision-making. Delete the apps that steal your time, not just remove them but delete them entirely. Make accessing them require so much friction that the impulse to check isn't enough to overcome the barrier. Turn off all notifications except from actual humans you care about. Silence the constant pings training your brain to be interrupted. Create physical barriers, put your phone in another room when you work. Use apps that block distracting websites for the entire day. Treat your attention like the valuable finite resource it actually is, instead of something you can waste on algorithmic feeds designed to keep you sedated. The first few days will feel like withdrawal because that's what it is, your dopamine-starved brain screaming for the easy hits, but if you push through you'll notice something shift. Tasks that felt impossible start feeling possible, focus that felt unreachable becomes accessible, not because you suddenly developed discipline but because you stopped fighting with both hands tied behind your back. You need to relearn boredom, to sit with the discomfort of having nothing stimulating happening, to let your brain recalibrate by forcing it to find satisfaction in slower, harder, more meaningful activities. And this means you don't fill every waiting moment with your phone. You don't make every meal an opportunity to watch something. You just exist with your thoughts like humans did for thousands of years. Start with one focused hour, 60 minutes, where you do one thing without switching, without checking. And yes, your brain will riot. Yes, you'll feel restless. But that feeling is the hijacking, your compromised reward system trying to pull you back. And every time you resist, you're weakening its hold. You have to become religious about protecting your attention because attention is all you have. It's what you use to build anything worth building, and right now you're giving it away for free to systems that use it against you. Stop consuming content about productivity and start actually being productive. Stop watching videos about focus and start practicing focus. Stop learning about discipline and start building it through repetition even when it's uncomfortable, because comfort is what got you here. Your brain isn't broken, it's just been rewired by forces that don't care about you, and the only way to take it back is to starve those systems of your attention, to force your brain to rediscover what it's like to work for dopamine instead of having it delivered effortlessly. You are too intelligent, too capable, too aware to spend your life as a passive consumer feeding algorithms while your potential rots unused, and if that makes you angry, use that anger as fuel to fight back, to reclaim your brain, to become someone who does what they say, not because they feel motivated, but because they've removed every obstacle between intention and action.